Coach, opening statement, then we'll go.
Good football game by our football team. Very pleased with our defense. They come out and pitched the shutout. That's what we had a goal of as a football team. I told them this was a team we feel like we could have held to 0 points. They did that. Offense did pretty good. Over 500 yards of offense. Over 200 yards rushing, 200 yards passing. Had some really explosive plays out there. So right where we need to be going into a bye week. We get a bye week before we get ready to go ride down to Baton Rouge for that big game against Southern. So we're looking forward to it, but another great home win for our football team.
Question?
Charles Bishop, Dr. Fields, inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach, I know you're big on discipline.
Yes.
10 penalties for 113 yards in this game. And I know that's been sort of a thing that you've talked about week to week.
Yeah, just getting guys to lock in. Right now it's killing drives. We had, I know in the first quarter, I think I counted 4 penalties alone on the offensive line, whether it was holding or false starts and things like that. It's just, we emphasize it, and when we try to get it corrected on Sundays, we'll continue to do that. But, right now I think in the last 3 games right now we're well over 30 penalties. So we just got to continue to emphasize it and try to continue to work on the discipline.
Dr. Ville, and then we'll go to you.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coaches, for you, and then also same framework in the question if you would get in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
As you spoke about the defense, obviously the overall statistics just seem absurd in a lot of ways in the football game, but it's credit to what you all are able to do defensively.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe it was 24 yards rushing. Talk about the front part of that defense to really get the push on the line.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get anything going, and that's a credit to me in terms of the defensive line and then what the linebackers.
Yeah. They take pride in stopping the run. They really take pride in stopping the run first. And it's always a next man up mentality over there on the defensive side. Jeremiah Williams didn't play. He got banged up again a little bit from last week with Southern Miss. These linebackers are elite. I've been saying it all along. You talk about Reed. Ashton Taylor didn't even play today. And that's why you see Ja'Cory go out there and step up, and you see what he brought home today, some hardware. Anytime you have that kind of depth, it's a luxury. But these guys really take pride and stopping teams to run and making them one-dimensional. That's what you saw today. Even Bo Peep, what we call him, the defensive lineman, he stepped up today. This was his first start. I think we had close to about 10 freshmen that played, true freshmen that played on the field today. We had quite a few guys down today. So they take pride in it, and then I got to give hats off to the coaches. They really spend a lot of time in that defensive meeting rooms getting those guys prepared for, stopping the run.
To be honest, especially this week as a team, the one word we decided to use this week was trust. And I really think that especially defensively, man, I trust the guys up front, man. I trust the people next to me and behind me to get the job done. And it's just more of a fact of, man, it's a brotherhood. Like, we all love each other. So, like, we're going to go out there, we're going to play for each other. So, yeah.
Preseason coach, you talked about the 3 guys behind you, Kobe, and what potential each one of them could potentially have. Why did you decide to go with Jared today, and what did you think about his performance?
Shoot, you saw it today. It's without being said, for a true freshman to go out there, and throw the ball around, and you saw what it could do to these. It woke the receivers up, and I'm very proud of him. The guy that's fresh out of high school, going out there and operating the offense the way he did. He showed a lot of grit. He took some shots out there, but I'm very pleased with him. Like I've been saying, all 3 of those guys got talent. Jared, Parker, Ethan, all of them have talent, and all of them have the ability to step up. But Jared has been putting together some solid practices. He's been doing well against these guys on scout team. I've been watching the film on that. He's throwing the ball well around against, I think, I know the #1 defense in the SWAC. So, and he brought it out here today. So we're very excited about him.
Donerio, let me ask you, another weekend, the running back room, you guys have rushed for well over 150 yards each game, but just talk about the running back room and you guys share the ball, if you would.
Coach Gorden always preach we're running back by committee. It's not about who's going to be the lead back. We're all going to play, and when it's our time to step up, we all going to step up, man. Because any one of us is a starter. So every week we just preach running back by committee. We celebrate with each other, and we go get the job done.
And
Coach, you had a lot of people step up today, some guys that we don't normally see play. Can you just talk about, I'm sure you're very proud of how they played today. Just talk about that.
Oh, very pleased. I think it says what kind of coaching staff I got when it comes to recruiting, though. These guys do a great job of recruiting. Like I said, we had close to probably 10, 11 true freshmen that went out there and played great football today. Ja'Cory stepped up. It was a lot of guys. You talk about the running back room, it's loaded over there. We had a couple old linemen. This was their first start. The quarterback was a freshman. So anytime you can have that kind of depth, you want to be ready to, when you have guys to go down, you need guys to step up. But not only step up, you still want to be elite. And that's what we pride ourselves on. We don't want no drop off. If you move up to number one on that depth chart, we still expect the production that you see on the football field, and that's why we are very pleased with the depth of this football team across the board.
Corey, I think they only got the ball across the 50 twice. When you guys are playing that type of game and getting that many defensive stops back to back, how does the energy kind of build throughout the game?
Man, it's a whole team that, okay, I'll say it like this. We love to dominate. So when we execute the calls and any checks on the field or anything like that, and the ball is just rolling and we playing as a team, man, it makes all of us play better as a unit as well. Like even though, today was a time for me to step up, I didn't feel some type of nervousness or anything like that, because I know for a fact that these guys are putting their trust in me no matter what. And for my preparation throughout this week, man, I prepared myself because I didn't want to let down the guy next to me. You know what I'm saying? So it was just all that together. And when we go and do stuff like that, it really riles us up. It makes us want to go and finish. So, yeah.
Anybody else?
Last question. WC Gorden Classic. WC Gorden and what he's meant to Jackson State. I wanted to ask just when you take a look at everything that he's been part of with regards to Jackson State football, how do you sort of, I guess, bring that history to this crop of Jackson State football players that's coming through now?
I mean, you see it each and every week, these fans and everything, but you tell them about it. We basically talk about it. You tell them and let them know he was the GOAT. Every morning I wake up, I'm chasing that. You talking about the greatest that ever did it. Walk through that tunnel and lead this football team out there. But WC Gorden Classic is a big game to me because, like I said, that was one of my mentors too, as well. I looked up to him a lot. Bounced ideas off of him a lot. He's from down my way, so he used to pick up the phone and call me, hey, TC. How he talk and everything like that. So that was my guy right there. So, and I can remember it was crazy. We talking about this now. Big O was talking about it today. We can remember the last time going over to Piccadilly's because he loves some Piccadilly's, and sitting down having lunch with him. And that was the last time we was able to do that. But you're a true legend though. You're a true legend. So anytime you talking about legends, you got to let these guys know what you're playing for and what the tradition is all about here at Jackson State.
You said this game finally woke your receivers up. You got your first receiving touchdown of the season. What do you want that group of guys to take away from this game?
To keep going. We got to keep going right now with this. We'll get a break next week, but they got to continue to get better. Jonas Fortillion didn't play today. Shamar Savage came in late. But these guys we played, Marion Brown is a true freshman that had to play today. Ja'Cory is another one that had to play. We talking about true freshmen. And receivers, everybody want the ball. Everybody want the ball. So we still, we still working with Nate Rimber to trying to get him involved in certain ways. You finally seen Janalen Dupree make an explosive play. How about Jamil Gardner? Transfer from Kent State. He showed that he can be explosive as well, and I can continue to go on with these guys. But they're gonna come out and play hard. They've been waiting on a day like this, so I'm proud of them.
We're good. I appreciate everybody.
All right, good job, guys.
If you're waiting, I'll come back and give you
Thank
some
you.
names on those nicknames.